I am the contrarian, and this is my world.
Hi, I'm Julian. Fragility is a concern, but if you need a good touch interface, you need to take care of your smartphone.
So think about it, if you actually did have a device or owned any kind of technology just a few years back, it was technology that was solid, built to last, and almost was like a weapon. Think of the first smartphones that you used, those really big ones. Yes, ugly, bulky, really huge. But if you dropped it, the floor or the person you would drop on would break, but not the device itself. Today, it's a whole different ball game. There are devices today that have had drop tests at 6 inches off the floor and have cracked screens. Now that is ridiculous. But I have a person, like I said here today, who thinks the industry seems to be doing quite okay. The repair industry, the service industry itself, has grown by some 100%, or I think it's 1,000% is what I actually think. It's in billions of dollars today. These are staggering statistics. So what is your overall opinion? Is the entire portable technology and device industry have made major mistakes and gone too fragile?
See, if you're talking about the mindset of the people previously, when you're having these bulky phones, we didn't have any touch technology, right? Okay. We had texting technology, where you had buttons on the text and type of technology, like how Nokia has or whatever, right? But when Apple came out with a touch screen concept, right, it had to be on a glass, right? Because then that is the only surface which really, which you can, sort of program with a human touch, right? So, and that is the company that really came out with that technology, the touch technology, right? And since it's a glass, it is fragile. So the bottom line of technology is fragility, right? But the ease of use that you're getting with that, the user interface, right? It's bringing your user interface of your laptop, it's bringing the user interface of your desktop onto your palm.
So the portable industry, and when you're in an industry that is selling in billions, not in millions or in thousands, in billions, smartphones, tablets, laptops, thin and light notebooks, all of these put together, when you're selling in billions, you better take care of these things because you are selling in billions. It's like saying, we sell millions of cars, but we will do nothing to take care of the passenger inside. So no airbags would have ever been invented, no safety systems would have come in, no technology would have been used in cars to make sure that when you get into a car, you're that much safer and your chances of actually making it home, even if you have a bad accident, are that much higher. So on one side, we have the automotive industry that has said, we're selling to people who are paying us good money, and we'll take care of them. And then you have the opposite side, which is the technology industry that says, oh, they'll buy it anyway. It's touch screen, let's make it thinner, let's make the screen bigger. If it cracks, that's great, we'll sell them in one more. We've made this industry so big, and yet there's no technology that's coming in to say, we'll take care of you.
See, Rajiv, basically, if you go to see the toughened glass, okay, if you make the glass toughened or if you put any sort of a layer on that, your touch interface field will go. You have to compromise with that.
So why would I compromise? Why can't the technology actually have grown in the last 10 years to say, this is the problem and this is the solution? At this present moment, it's not only just about fragility, it's about build quality. Number of times they've been criticized for making very fragile phones. Companies like Samsung will continue to make them in plastic because it's impossible to make it otherwise. And the lessons are, HTC said, we made the HTC One, but we couldn't make enough, because making them in metal was very, very difficult. We carry our technology with us 24/7. Are there no such things as indestructible phones, tough phones? There are, right?
There are, but then you have to compromise with the user interface.
Let's be frank. Nobody buys ugly technology and nobody buys ugly devices today. That's true. I mean, nobody will today put down their good money to say, that looks like a good, solid phone, but it's very ugly, I love it. Nobody will buy it, right? So isn't this just an aesthetic game that is being played?
You have a third-party company, I'll name one company called Otter, okay? They are making these cases, the hard cases, okay? Now, everybody owning an iPhone knows about Otter, right? They know that if I put an Otter case on my phone, I'm going to protect it from the fall. But they don't put it. Why don't they put it?
How many times have you got add-on airbags in your car? Have you ever?
No.
I don't know anybody who has. That's taken care of by the car company. It's the ethical and moral responsibility of the company to say we'll still make a beautiful looking car, but not at the compromise of passenger safety. This ethic seems to be completely missing in all technology producing manufacturers. They seem to say, doesn't matter, nobody's really objected. Let's carry on. It's good business for us all. 1 out of 3 people break their phone. Can you imagine if 1 out of 3 people were dying in their cars? What a unbelievable problem that would be worldwide.
See, mobile is a competitive business industry. Okay.
Isn't the car business the same? Isn't the business to do with kitchen appliances, home appliances the
True.
same?
But see, Apple, Samsung, they're at loggerheads every time. Okay, they're fighting patent lawsuits and every time, right? Even so is the Android industry. You have millions of Android makers. Why don't they make such phones? They don't make it. Nobody makes it.
Why is it that the fragility of devices has increased as we are paying more money for them and buying more of those devices? It seems like a zero-sum game for the customer. We will buy your beautiful looking phone. Thank you for making it with a bigger screen. Thank you for making it thinner and lighter than ever before. And thank you for giving me a device that I will 100% break in the first 3 months. That's a terrible, terrible thank you from these companies. Do materials not exist that will not break at the back? Are you putting glass at the back? Are you absolutely insane?
Boss, but then you're supposed to be careful.
So what you're really saying is,
You're supposed to be careful with technology.
you're supposed to
You don't throw out
real-
your baby. Okay, you have a baby, you throw around your baby.
in the last 3 or 4 years, have you seen your business grow dramatically?
It has grown, yes.
And what is it that usually comes to when people come to you to get something cheap?
We're getting all sorts of things. We're
But
getting
what's the
water
maximum?
problems.
Let's do a 1, 2, 3.
It's broken screens.
Broken screen. What's the next?
Water problems.
Right.
And small nitty-gritty problems like the button's not working. and all that.
Exactly. So if I take these top 3,
Yeah.
okay, what are all these things signs of?
There were accidental cases.
Accidental cases of what? That I dropped
People
my
are
phone
dropping
off my
the
table?
phones.
Okay, so now if I'm to give you another analogy, an example. If I was to tell somebody today that this is a new device
Yeah.
and it's going to be always in your hand, it's $50,000 and it'll break into small pieces if you drop it on the floor. I can give you a guarantee the smartphone industry would never have taken off if they started like this. They started off well, got us used to it, got us addicted to it, and today we are compromising and saying it's fine, let's go ahead with it, not a problem. And you've said it yourself, your top 3 businesses out of which the number 1 is cracked screens. Don't you see something wrong there?
See, but when the smartphone industry took off with the iPhone 2G, if I'm telling you about the Apple, it sold around 3 million units in the first week. Okay, the iPhone 5S in the opening thing, it sold around 6 million, and the iPhone 6 is sold around 10 million in the opening weekend, right?
10 million people without even seeing that phone put down the money because they have faith in the company.
But they know it's going to break.
Mobile phones 5 years back should have been waterproof, should have been dustproof, should have been shatterproof, and should have had composite materials that cannot crack if you drop it. This should have been the bare minimum, and it should be by law. It's in our hand at all times. We are going to be around liquids. So I'm just saying that I think it's time to say technology, wherever it is, this has been more a compromise, as you said, competition, price points, profitability, and the fact that they can take people for a ride, and they are.
Not taking people for a ride as such. I won't say that they're taking people for a ride because the type of convenience that they're giving you.
No,
they're giving you the
fine.
convenience
Look,
of
okay, let's separate these two, okay? The products they are making are beautiful, efficient, and fantastic. They're awesome. The fragility that they build into it is terrible. Would you agree on these two statements?
If you're using that, it's ought to be fragile.
So I have 2 quick questions. The answers have to be in yes or no.
Yeah.
If I was to make you the most beautiful looking car made out of all glass, would you drive it?
No.
It is the most beautiful, most efficient car in the world, but it's made out of glass. Would you drive it?
Not really.
Not really? Not at all. I really hope not at all, right?
Not really.
And my last question is, how many devices have you broken in the last 5 years? Your own personal ones?
Mine, 2.
2. And for a person who repairs them and for a person who says fragility is good, take good with the bad, be careful with your devices, even you've cracked too.
Yeah.
I rest my case. So we've been told take the good with the bad. We've been taking a lot of bad for a little bit of good. I truly hope every single company, and I always say this, I know every one of you is watching this, so every single company that made a lot of money, all of us, try and make those devices every time you add a new phone, when you move to the next in a series or come up with a new phone, could you take care of the robust build a little bit more? Maybe in 2 years, we won't need shows like this at all. I'll see you next week right here on The Contrary. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I am the contrarian, and this is my world.